This year's WrestleMania is shaping up to be the worst WrestleMania ever. I will explain why I feel that way in this video, as well as go over the great week that we saw AEW have. And we've got heel Swerve Strickland again. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Studio Scripts. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me. I apologize for the long delay this week with my channel, but I explained in the post quick that I was dealing with some new upgrades. I got a new phone, new equipment and everything. Hopefully the quality looks a little bit better. Editing is going to be a lot better, too, once you guys are watching this. If you're new to my channel, or if you've been here for a while and you haven't yet already subscribed, I would much appreciate a subscription. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers is my next huge goal. And I thank you to all of you who have been around for many months now on this channel. But let's get right into my claim at the beginning. Why do I feel like this year's WrestleMania is going to be arguably the worst WrestleMania ever for WWE? Well, let's start with ticket sales. Right up there, I've got proof right there that it shows that WrestleMania is struggling with ticket sales, even after the 25% price reduction. Well, people don't want to pay for that product anymore when it costs that much money. You look at the ticket sales, the ticket prices, there's a lot of tickets still available that cost $40,000 for both night one and night two. Even if you do just night one, you're still spending tens of thousands of dollars for everything, because that's just your ticket. That doesn't account for food, that doesn't account for travel, that doesn't account for any merchandise you may or may not want to buy. You are putting so much money into product that is very mediocre at best. There are no good storylines. Now going into the second reason, I think there are no really good storylines for WrestleMania season this year. There is really nothing. They instead are trying to put LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar is a rumor that I'm seeing. Why not Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi? That would be a lot better if I was booking WrestleMania. Put over the young star, have Brock Lesnar give him the rub, have just a 10-minute match where they beat the shit out of each other with their best moves, but then have Oba Femi come out on top and be the next big monster to dominate pro wrestling and WWE for years to come. But no, apparently it's going to be LA Knight, who is probably just going to lose to him, which is a good and bad thing. Good for Oba that they're pushing the young talent. Bad for LA Knight, who's being wasted for many years now. The only good thing that's coming out of WWE so far in 2026 that I can give them praise on is how they are utilizing their younger talent, their NXT call-ups, and Oba Femi, and Trick Williams and Javon Evans, who qualified, and Trick Williams both qualified for the men's Elimination Chamber match. So they are doing really well with those two. Oba is okay. He's just having squash matches right now. That's about all that I can give them praise on. Everything else is just dry. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's the same top talent at the title scene. You got CM Punk still, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and all of those guys that have been towards the main title scene for a couple of years now. Roman Reigns. The list goes on. Whereas even the mid-card seems to be a joke right now. You have luchadors who are actual luchadors who aren't getting pushed like Penta. Look at that right up there. Penta has been around for over a year, 13 months now. After a few months of Michael Cole sucking his dick, saying that he was going to be the biggest luchador since Rey Mysterio, they haven't done shit with him. He is feuding with the same people he was feuding when he first started, except now he's losing some of those matches, and those same people have also been reduced to nothing but a glorified comedic act. And the El Grande Americano stuff. Chad Gable is now the OG El Grande Americano, and he's going to get more spotlight probably at WrestleMania against the other people that are trying to pose as his stupid-ass comedic gimmick than actual luchadors. We're not going to see Penta win a title at WrestleMania. We're not going to see the Lucha Bros win tag titles. We're not going to see Rey Fenix. What has Rey Fenix done? He's been around for almost a year, too. Literally nothing. We saw also on WWE this past week, I want to talk about a couple more things before I get to AEW stuff. We saw this crate show up. A lot of people are thinking it could be Jericho. It could be Royce Keys. If it's Royce Keys, I think that's a big letdown. Some people are saying it might be another Elimination Chamber pod, and we're going to get another entrant for either the men's or the women's Elimination Chamber match. I don't know quite what it's going to be. I will say Chris Jericho does like to do things with countdowns quite a bit and dates and everything, but to counter this photo up there about that, you're seeing that his contract was apparently frozen in AEW. I don't know how much truth there is to that, if it is even 100% factual, but if that is the case, then it's likely not him, and if it is just Royce Keys, I think that's a letdown. That's not that huge of a thing. Maybe it is another pod because the crate is very tall. I don't know. You let me know down below your thoughts on what you think it may be. Then we have news on AJ Styles being at the Performance Center again. I think they're going to rewrite his ending because they realize that they majorly fucked up with that. Not only having him lose to Gunther, who I don't think deserves the rub, but also, or needs it rather, because he's already solidified himself as a top heel and has won multiple championships and everything. You do that to an Obafemi instead, or Trick Williams, somebody that can get really over by beating and retiring AJ Styles. Gunther already has been over for years now. But it seems like AJ Styles is coming back. They're having SmackDown wrestlers are apparently being flown out to where they're going to have Raw this upcoming Monday, and we'll see what happens with that. Are they going to have him have one more final match that maybe he wins? Is he going to say a proper farewell to American fans rather than it being in Blood Money Saudi Arabia, but then go on to have maybe a TNA run for a little bit since they're now partnered with WWE? Who knows? Again, something that I would also like to know your thoughts on that as well down below in the comments. The Masked Men stuff too. Also rinse, wash, repeat with WWE. They have done it, 4 or 5 times in the last few years now. It looks like it's Grayson Waller. If you look at that photo up there, those hands match, the way that the knuckles are bent and everything, his facial features, everything seems to be that it is Grayson Waller. And honestly, I feel like that's kind of a letdown. Some people are still thinking it's Seth Rollins. I don't agree with that either. I don't know where they can write this into being something that turns out really good. I just think that the last time that they did this was a letdown, and now this time they're doing it, it's a letdown. They literally just did this with Austin Theory. Now they're probably doing it with Grayson Waller, and I think it's just very repetitive, very boring, nothing new, nothing fresh, and it's going to be a letdown again. It's going to have no reaction. When Austin Theory revealed himself, there was literally chirps. It was so quiet, and I feel like the same thing is going to happen with this. Maybe they'll have some piped-in audio. But, again, there's nothing that's going to happen at WrestleMania this year that I really care about outside of just maybe Rollins coming back and having a good match. Just maybe CM Punk having a good match against somebody. I'm not sure. I really am not looking forward to WrestleMania this year. And those ticket prices make it even worse. Now on to AEW stuff for the remainder of the video. The good stuff that happened recently in pro wrestling over the course of the last week. Let's start with the 2 big things that happened on Dynamite, actually. You'll be watching Collision later on this evening, as this is going to be a special upload on a Saturday. You guys are going to be surprised by this, probably Saturday afternoon for Central Standard Time in America anyway. So you'll be able to watch this before Collision. Some of you may be watching this after you have watched Collision. But what has happened so far this week in pro wrestling for AEW has been, again, very fresh and really makes me want to watch more of it weekly, and I'm excited for Evolution. To start with the very fresh thing, Swerve Strickland is heel again, attacking Kenny Omega after probably what I think has been the match of the year so far against Kenny Omega and Swerve. Really had a great match. There's some photos for you there of it. But yes, at the end of it, after he cheated to win, which I had to do a double take because I thought I was seeing things when he pulled Aubrey in front. But then after he used the exposed turnbuckle wire or whatever it was that he used, that is when I was like, hold on, I think Swerve's going heel again. And then he attacked Omega at the end of the match, brutally putting him through that announce table. That is a great way to end a Dynamite, one of the best Dynamite main events since the C2 matches that were happening. And I think that was the match of the year for a regular show anyway. I don't know if it'll be match of the year outright because I'm sure there's going to be some great matches that'll happen at Revolution. That'll probably happen at All In later this summer. But I want to know your guys' thoughts below on the Swerve heel turn. Where do you think this goes? I think that they're going to have another match against each other at Revolution. Probably no holds barred match. You let me know down below your thoughts on that. And then secondly, the other huge thing, and this is where I can get a little critical on AEW. The first major thing anyway that I'm going to be a little critical with them on was how they have written this MJF versus Adam Page storyline. I don't like that they are basically writing this into a Cody Rhodes storyline. If Hangman Adam Page loses, he can never challenge for that title again. And we all know how that worked out for Cody Rhodes. It basically ended his AEW significance and his career here, and then he went back to WWE. Well, now we either see that happen to Adam Page, or he beats him, and we're playing hot potato right now with the championship, and you take the belt off of someone who just got it. And MJF, I feel like, is really amplifying the world title picture with all of these people, with Brody King, with Hangman, with Swerve, with Kenny Omega, all of these people. So I don't know if I really like the fact that he is going to lose at Revolution next month after just winning it not too long ago. I thought he was going to have a long title reign. But then again, this is what I was bringing up, that AEW feels fresher and more unpredictable in 2026. And this is definitely a layer of unpredictability because I don't know what's going to happen. Is Hangman going to just win the title back after just losing it only 4 or 5 months ago? Or is he going to lose? Is he not going to be able to challenge for it again? Is MJF going to lose, which would also still be shocking because he just won the belt not long ago? I really don't know what's going to happen, so I want to know your thoughts down below on that as well, because that is a huge thing that's in the world of AEW right now that a lot of people are talking about. Lastly, I want to bring up some Britt Baker stuff. I believe it was just yesterday she mentioned that she is in fact not retired and that she apparently is not practicing dentistry full-time anymore. So quickly just wanted to bring that up. Do we see Britt Baker ever making a return in AEW, or do we see her returning to the ring, bulking back up? Because she looked pretty thin in the last photo that I saw of her. And then possibly jumping to WWE. I'm not sure. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts on that down below in the comments. That's all I had in this episode of Screw Scripts. You let me know down below your thoughts on everything that I talked about. Mostly a WWE video, but my next video on Monday is going to be more AEW centric, as I'm going to want to talk about more on what happens on Collision tonight, because we are going to continue to see some build leading up to Revolution, which is only about a month away at this point. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.